Welcome to Speaking of Schaumburg. I'm Village President Al Larson. In this episode, we'll catch up with the Schaumburg Business Association, and we'll hear about the upcoming season at the Prairie Center for the Arts. We'll finish out the program with a visit from Stray's Halfway House. All of this and more today here on Speaking of Schaumburg. Connecting business members throughout the community, the Schaumburg Business Association aims to improve the quality of life and economic vitality of the Schaumburg area. Joining us today are SBA President Kylie Harding, Ben Olson of Three Monkeys and Aardvark Studios, and Jeff Miller of Divine Signs and Graphics. Welcome to Speaking of Schaumburg.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, now who's who here?
Well, I'm Kylie.
What is your role, Kylie, as far as SBA is concerned?
I'm the president of the SBA. I've had my job now for a little over a year, and it's been a great year. And we've done some really great things, including preparing now for our two upcoming events this fall.
And those two events would be?
The Toast of Schaumburg, the annual Toast of Schaumburg, and our brand new event, the Pinewood Derby.
Okay. Ben, where did you get that name?
Late night?
No, I mean Ben. I don't mean the rest of it. Where did you get that name, Ben?
It's a multiple personality disorder. So it's a personality split up amongst 4 characters.
Okay. What does your company do? What?
We're a creative agency. I say we're a taxidermist, but that doesn't go over as well. We're a creative agency. We do high-level creative for advertising, print design, and web.
Okay. All right. How long have you been in business?
About 5 years.
5 years. And are you in Schaumburg?
Yes, we are.
Well, that's good. That's good. And now we go to the divine Mr. Jeff Miller.
Howdy, Mr. Mayor.
Where'd you get the name, Divine?
Well, when we started the sign business 11 years ago, every sign name has been done a million times over. So we wanted to have a name that meant something. In 1989, I was a survivor of Flight 232, the United Airlines DC-10 that crashed in Sioux City, Iowa, and I walked off without a scratch. So fast forward, when we were thinking about a name for the sign company, we thought we would tie the two together, and that's where we came up with the name Divine Signs.
How'd you get involved in the SBA?
The very first thing I did was I called my neighbor Jim Burke, and I told him I was getting into business for myself, and he said, call my dad now, which is Brian Burke, who is one of the founding members of the Schaumburg Business Association. And Brian said, get down to the SBA right now and sign up.
That's pretty just like him.
Yes. Are you kidding me? Don't even wait. Do it now. And I literally did it that minute. And at that
wait a
time,
minute. You're going to rip off this mask and it's going to be,
wait a minute, it's Brian. So I did that, and being part of the SBA has been the number one key to our business's success.
Now, SBA, how's it doing in terms of membership? And
We're doing really well, actually. We've had through this summer, we've had a great summer with bringing in new business. And I think part of it is a sign of the economy coming back, but I think, too, a lot of it is the stories that you hear from our members that exist. A lot of our members come in as referrals from existing members. And I think it has a lot to do with the quality of the programs we have and then the quality of members that we have in Schaumburg. We have the blessing of actually being in Schaumburg, which is, I think, the greatest business community in the state of Illinois. And through hearing people talk about the success they have, like Jeff built his business, and he tells people all the time through memberships in the SBA, and then Ben as well. And these are just 2 examples of hundreds of stories that people have of growing their business through SBA, and then sharing the wealth, so to speak, with their other friends that are in business as well.
Talk about the 2 events that are coming up. What are they?
Right. Well, the Toast of Schaumburg has been going on as long as SBA has been in business since 2001. And thank you, Mayor, because you've always come and done the actual Toast to Schaumburg, which is, I think, a really nice thing for us to be able to do and honor the success we've had every year. The nice thing that we get to do at the Toast of Schaumburg is give out awards to people that run business in Schaumburg and do it very successfully. I know that both Jeff and Ben have been award recipients in years past through different award categories, and we're really excited this year. We opened up the nomination process to our membership for the first time, and they've responded well. We've gotten a lot of new nominations for businesses, and I think people have been really proud to nominate their friends and their work colleagues.
Where is it, and what's the theme? And
Well, Ben?
Would you like me to take this
yes.
one? So this year we're at the Renaissance and Convention Center, which we love. It's a fabulous venue, and the theme is Vogue. Now, I'm going to give you a personal invitation myself because we wouldn't want to mail you one. You should really come out that night. It's October 5th. You might enjoy yourself. I mean,
I might.
So what the toast is about and what we're pulling off this year is, thank you for that plug. The toast is threefold in a way, right? We have a recognition part, which is our awards to well-deserving members who, anything from the Brian H. Burke Business of the Year award down to a member and rookie of the year. We have a philanthropy part. We feel very strongly as a business association that we are corporately responsible as well for our community, and we are blessed to have 22 plus 501c3s within our organization. And that's a fabulous thing because these people do the work that we can't do, right, and are specialized in these things in areas that really need to be taken care of. And we want to be corporately responsible as well. So what we're hosting this year is a reverse auction in addition to that. And
what's a reverse auction?
A reverse auction is something where the entire amount of money goes to the charitable organization. We start at a certain number, say $1,000, and we say who will bid $1,000. Now, you're not going to get anything from that other than the tax deduction and the feeling that you get from giving to an organization. Then we step that down, then it's 500, 250, 150. Who will bid this much? And people are just bidding money and they're supporting an organization. So we have 3 nominees that will narrow down from the list of 15 that wrote in, and we will select one that evening that will be the beneficiary of all of those funds. And then the celebration part, because you can't have a big black tie gala without a celebration.
And what time is it? What time is the event?
6 to midnight.
Okay, and what does it cost?
Well, we actually offer it up for members and non-members.
Sure.
You can buy a whole table if you want for $16.85. $16.85 to buy a whole table for a corporate table, but individual people can come. $175 a ticket.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And what's the second event you're going?
Well, that's the Pinewood Derby, which is why we have all these crazy things right this.
Oh, let's talk about that.
Usually in November we do a business expo, and we've done probably 7 or 8 of them. And we thought we'd try something different this year. We're not going to do the traditional business expo like we have in the past, but what we are going to do is we're going to have an event called the Grand Prix Pinewood Derby. It's going to be presented. We have a presenting sponsor, which is the Resnick Auto Group, and it's going to have a whole automotive theme. And it's going to be a combination of several events. So it's going to be a traditional Pinewood Derby event. It's not for kids and it's not for families. So companies.
Who's it for?
For adults 21 and over, and it is open to anybody in the community that wants to come and buy a car and make it. But we like the idea of the traditional Boy Scout Pinewood Derby, and Jeff has a really
Cub
fun.
Scout. I think it's a Cub Scout.
Yeah, Cub Scout. Yeah, and Jeff has a great story for the reason why it's good for adults too.
Let's hear it.
Well, I'm half Italian, and I grew up in the Melrose Park area. My mom was all Italian, and she got in a beef with the den mother. And she pulled my hand up and she goes, "We're signing up for T-ball." And I got yanked out of Cub Scouts as a boy. Never got a chance to do the Pinewood Derby.
You got yanked out of Cub Scouts?
Never got a chance to do the Pinewood
How
Derby.
traumatic was that?
Right, it's a team.
Never got a chance to do the Pinewood Derby. So here's my choice. So it's a combination of a few events. So it's a Pinewood Derby, and we're actually going to have a legit track and timing software, compliments of the Boy Scouts of America. So we're going to have the official Pinewood Derby track with all the timing and the various software that you need to make it with the heats and so forth. We're going to have all various categories. Sponsors are going to sponsor the sharpest car, fastest car standing still, most creative car, cars like that. Look at that. And so there'll be all types of trophies that could be won. But it's also going to be like a business after hours. All kinds of food and drink from the SBA's finest establishments will be set up there. And then it'll also be, of course, a great time for networking. And it's all going to happen on November 7th. But here's the venue, at MTA, which is one of our manufacturers in Schaumburg, and they, of course, manufacture automotive components. They've opened up their distribution center, and this is where this big event's going to take place.
Wow, wow. How many entries do you anticipate?
I think we're going to have, we could have close to 100 cars. Yeah. And then some people say, well, I'm not going to do the car thing. They could come and then just enjoy the business after hours part of it and watch the companies compete. Yeah. And then we're also going to have a pit crew of companies that are in the automotive industry setting up a bit of an expo for themselves. So it'll be people in the industry like automotive glass, automotive repair, car insurance, and all that. And they'll have their little booth where people can take a look at their displays as well. So.
Where'd the trophies come from?
Well, the trophies will.
I think they were stolen out of someone's
Right.
bedroom there.
Some of these trophies are an example of what we will
Do you
have
have a
to give
crying kid
away.
at home, Kylie?
Well, yeah, we might have snatched these from a former Boy Scout or two, but we're really excited about the event. We're actually working with the police department as well, has already gotten involved with the Pinewood Derby, and the excitement we've had from our local members. Seems like we're going to have a great event with
Who
this
do they
one.
call if they want to order tickets, or
Well,
where can they get tickets?
They call the SBA office. They can also check us on our website.
And what's your number?
847-413-1010.
Okay, all right. And you're all going to be there.
We'll all be there
All be
for
there.
Are you
both
all
events.
entering a car?
Ours are going to, of course, Divine Signs, we do vehicle wraps, so ours will be wrapped up really nice.
We're a creative agency, so ours won't even technically be a car.
Well, thank you, Kylie.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you again. Schaumburg's Prairie Center for the Arts is gearing up for another season of fine entertainment. Find out what we can expect next on Speaking of Schaumburg. Since it opened in 1986, Schaumburg's Prairie Center for the Arts has become one of the premier performance venues in the northwest suburban area, hosting local entertainment as well as international touring acts. Here to tell us about their upcoming season, our Cultural Commission Chair, John Flamini, Production Supervisor, Rob Palekis. Welcome to Speaking of Schaumburg, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What does the Chair of the Cultural Commission do?
The chair of the Cultural Commission actually runs the meetings of the Cultural Commission, and at those meetings we plan the programs for the upcoming seasons. That's part of what we do.
And what is your role, Rob?
Well, actually, my job is then to take over and help get people to come to them, make sure the artists are all equipped with what they need for the performance, and to seat the people and let the show run.
But you write and direct as well, don't you?
I've done a number of shows where I've been able to produce, write, direct. That's great too. Yeah, I've had a lot of fun.
How many shows, Rob?
I've written 9 mysteries, of countless number of holiday shows and youth orchestra programs, and other things I'd rather not discuss.
What's great about this season?
Oh, Manhattan Transfer. Can hardly wait.
Really?
Oh, it's going to be a little different format than usual. They're going to have just the group, the 4 of them, and a pianist, but there'll also be some discussion of what has transpired over the 40 years that they've been together.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some great stories they'll be told, and I'm sure it's just going to be a great time. Not to mention the music itself.
I assume they're out of New York, right?
I assume so. Yes.
They're transferred from Manhattan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's. They're known for that. They sang Java Jive. That was a big hit of theirs, and also Boy from New York City was a big hit of theirs. And they have a lot of. Their fan base is huge, and I'm sure it's pretty big in the city here in Chicago and the suburbs and Schaumburg in the area. So I think that'll draw very well. It'll probably sell out at least a few days before the concert.
I'm thinking it's headed that
it's a
direction.
big one.
Yeah, it'll be a big one.
How many members are there in the Manhattan Transfer? Is it a quartet?
It's a quartet.
Quartet.
Quartet. They sing Acapulco, or?
Yes, they sing. They sing.
Acapella?
They sing.
Cabela?
Well, they do have a piano accompanist.
Okay.
Okay, but when they record, they have more than that.
Okay.
With the group. But
Yeah.
this particular format, that's why I say it's going to be a little different, but really more personalized, just like the Prairie Center, audiences are used to.
Tell us about the rest of the season. Okay, Manhattan Transfer, but you've got a plethora of other acts that.
It goes on and on. Two of the programs that we have is kind of a new thing for us. We have 2 more or less lecture series performances in our lecture hall, a 100-seat, very intimate space. And we have Leslie Goddard, who's a historian and lecturer, is doing a presentation on Chicago's candy history.
Oh, really?
And Chicago, apparently, and I'm not.
Are they going to talk about Mrs. Brock?
We're going to talk about Mrs. Brock. We're going to probably touch on, I imagine, those delicious Frango mints, and I think Baby Ruth came out of Chicago, and Cracker Jack. So Chicago has a very rich candy history. So she's going to talk about that. And then there's also another performer, storyteller Jim Fitzer, I believe, is going to portray Aldo Leopold, who was a famous concert naturalist, right? In a one-man show. So I think that's going to be really nice. The lecture hall is a really nice, intimate space to see that kind of show. So that's going to be new this season.
What about big bands? What about yeah?
Well, I don't think we're not going to have a big band, I don't think, on the program, but we do have the celebration of 100 years of Broadway.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is going to be really a lot of fun, too. You're going to hear, a lot of the Jerome Kern, Rodgers, and Hammerstein, favorites. And these people are actually from Broadway. They have actually performed on Broadway.
How many performers there?
I think there's 3.
3? Okay.
Yeah, with a pianist and a band, I believe, top-notch people who've also performed in Broadway pits. So they're bringing a little bit of Broadway to Schaumburg, which is going to be really fun.
Do you have any torch singers?
I can sing something
I know we had
for you.
spiders flying off there one time.
Yeah, we love having those vocal acts here because I think we have a sentimental heart here at the Prairie Center. We like to bring back those, those torch songs, like you said, those old classics, Cole Porter tunes, Irving Berlin, stuff like that.
Sure.
And they sell well. That's getting a lot of interest already.
Mm-hmm.
Any dance groups coming?
Yes, I do believe we do have the
Gus
Giordano group.
Right.
Yes, out of Chicago.
They've been here before, haven't they?
They have been here before. Yeah, young, energetic company. They're up there with the Hubbard Street Dance Company in Chicago. Really one that's been around for a long time. It's kind of survived, the rise and fall of other companies, and it's a fantastic.
How long
group.
have you been with the Prairie Center, Rob?
I joined in '89. Boy, was I young then.
We all were.
Yeah.
Maybe not John.
No, I probably wasn't young.
But he's still young.
But you still perform, don't you?
I do on occasion, yes. Not as much as I used to, but I do, yes.
Tell us what you do.
I'm a percussionist, so I do that. I do a little doubling.
Is it not fair to say drummer? Is that not right? Is it
I guess you could say drummer, but I kind of expand that a little bit because
You bought a tambourine.
Well, I have congas, I have bongos, I have every kind of,
He's good. He's a great musician.
Who do you perform with?
Let's see. Locally, you might be familiar with Nick Schneider, bass player, jazz bass player. He's recorded. You hear a lot of him on WDCB.
Okay.
So I've done some playing with him and, some other groups around the city of Chicago.
And you taught too, didn't you?
For quite a few years, like
tell us what you've taught.
34 years. Well, I was a band director. I was the first band director at Keller Junior High School. And I stayed there for, I think, about 14 years until they built, in Elk Grove, they built Margaret Mead.
Okay.
When Margaret Mead opened, I moved over and I was the first band director at Margaret Mead.
Okay. And now you're retired?
Yeah, now I'm retired.
Allegedly. I mean, you chair the Cultural Commission.
Allegedly retired, yes, between chairing the Cultural Commission and having grandchildren and any other number of things that go with that. Painting the house, all kinds of fun things. But
You're one of the first employees who hired for the Prairie Center, aren't you?
There were, I believe I was the 4th employee hired at the Prairie Center full time. And back then we were a pretty fledgling organization. It's grown by leaps and bounds over the years. We had a series. I think it was a little more abbreviated than this. We only had the Schaumburg Youth Orchestra. We also had the Summer Theater. They were only a year or two old.
That's right. You're involved with the Youth Orchestra too, aren't you?
I'm involved with the Youth Orchestra, celebrating its 25th anniversary, and again they'll be performing as part of the season. The Prairie Center is very dedicated to youth programs, and I think that's fantastic.
What are some of the youth programs coming up?
Well, we've got the Presto Holiday Concert. That's a big show every year. That's in December 21st this year. The Nutcrackers, the Schaumburg Dance Ensemble's youth dance program. That'll be 10 performances of the Nutcracker. We have our Screen Test Student Fest, which is taken off.
What is that?
Screen Test Student Fest is a film festival dedicated to works by students in grades 5 through 12, and it's our 8th year, and it's a great show. It's a great exhibit for young talent who specialize in video and film production.
Besides Manhattan Transfer, what else are you looking forward to, John?
Well, I'm looking forward to also Taj Mahal, the Taj Mahal Trio. He's been around for a while. He brings music to us with a Caribbean and West African flavor to it, and also American jazz. Yeah. So he's one I'm looking forward to, and he's a multi-instrumentalist.
I heard about the Celebrate the Arts thing. What is that?
That's just around the corner. That is a party at the Prairie Center. It's on Saturday, September 21st at 7 o'clock.
Oh, that's going to be...
It's coming up just around the corner. And here's the great thing about it. You've got 11 restaurants who are offering to you can sample their food. Fantastic bites from restaurants.
Bonefish, Salmon Harry's.
Bonefish, Salmon Harry's, Seasons 52. Great restaurants in the area. You've got bands on different stages, 4 bands playing. You've got a silent auction. You've got a cash bar.
It's on the plaza?
It's on the plaza. It's in the studio. It's going to be right here, right in this studio, on stage, in the gallery, all over the building. So you have kind of a cool access to parts of the center that are normally not open to the public.
And what's the cost for that?
$55. 65 at the door, so buy early.
That's right. And who do they call? Who
They just go to prairiecenter.org. It's the easiest way to get tickets. You go online. There's no extra charge to go online.
And you can learn about some of the performances that are coming. Yeah.
Right.
John, good to have you back.
A pleasure.
Thank you.
Looking forward to the season.
Rob?
Have me soon.
Absolutely. Looking to make a new feline friend? A local organization can help. Find out more next here on Speaking of Schaumburg. Stray's Halfway House is an all-volunteer, not-for-profit organization dedicated to rescuing stray and abandoned animals in the villages of the northwest suburbs. Here to tell us more are President Peggy Alland and Stray's foster parent, Ken Alland. Well, welcome to Speaking of Schaumburg.
Thank you for having us.
And I didn't introduce our guests here.
Our 2 little sisters,
Yeah.
Pixie. I have Pixie.
And I have Dixie.
Pixie and Dixie.
Yes, they were found as younger strays. There's actually 3 more siblings in early July,
Oh, really?
and they were brought into the DuPage County shelter.
Are the other 3 siblings, are they white as well?
No, they're different
Okay.
colors.
Okay.
Kitties can have multiple daddies, so that's why they can
okay.
be multiple colors.
Well, how did Stray's Animal, how did you guys get started?
2 Schaumburg residents. One lady worked, Sharon Golick worked at Gulf Rose Kennel here in Schaumburg, and another, Belinda Olson, she worked at Save a Pet, which at that time was in Palatine. And the strays were coming into the vet, and they were coming in way too many, and they needed to do something. So Sharon started working with Save a Pet at that time, and unfortunately still had to be euthanize some of the animals because they couldn't move them fast enough. So the 2 ladies got together and started it in May of 1981.
Well, she likes your finger there, doesn't she?
Yes, they're at that little chewy age. We were the first in the state to be licensed as a rescue without having an actual building.
Oh, my.
It's an all-volunteer licensed foster home organization.
And to this day, that's the way it is, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And how many members do you have?
Members,
how many foster parents do you have?
Right now, we're at probably an all-time low of just 5, sometimes 6.
Okay.
Because of that, several years ago, we had to stop fostering dogs because we didn't have anybody to foster the dogs. Because again, we don't have a building, so they're in our homes until they're adopted.
So you're just fostering cats now, or?
Correct.
But not iguanas or?
No, none of those creepy little monster things. No. Just our kitties.
Okay.
People will call and say there's a stray animal in their yard or kittens under the deck, especially at this time of year. Or we go to basically the different counties, Kendall, DuPage, Cook, where they're euthanizing daily.
Okay.
And we take from there.
Okay. So you've got a lot of partners then, don't you?
Correct. And we do a lot of begging to help support all these little boogers because they need a lot of medical care. When they were first brought in, they were what we call bottle babies. They were drinking from little baby bottles of kitten milk.
So these 2 can be adopted, right?
Not quite yet, in about 2 weeks. Because by state law, they need to be 8 weeks, which they're not. And we like them to be a sturdy 2 pounds, which they're also not.
Okay.
They have been tested already, which was why they were at the vet yesterday. They were tested for feline AIDS, feline leukemia, and heartworm. And they were negative for all of that, and they've had a first distemper shot and treated for internal parasites.
Where'd you find these?
These were brought into
They
were brought into the DuPage County shelter as strays, and we took them from there.
Okay. All right. Now, if somebody wanted to adopt a pet, who would they call?
Our main number, which is 630-351-3150, or they go onto our website of strayshh.org, where they'll see the list of the available animals and then contact the foster home directly.
How did you get involved?
A kitty in our backyard.
Oh, really?
And I called the police and asked what to do. Yep, and it went to the vet in Schaumburg, and then Strays notified us and said,
Okay.
would you like to be a foster home? And that's how it started, how many years ago?
About almost 14.
14.
And my wife answers calls for strays. She'll actually be very good at directing people where to go
If we
if
can
they
help.
have any special problems that can be addressed. She's very good on the phone.
Okay.
We try to direct people when we personally can't do anything.
And how many pets have cats and dogs have you saved over the years?
I counted 1 year. The most 1 year Ken and I adopted out alone were 76. Just 1 year.
Wow.
So I quit counting after that. So a lot. Like last week we had 2 adoptions, the week before, 1 just from our home. So then they come and they go, and then we get more.
And how many do you have permanently at home?
We have 3.
3?
Yes.
Cats?
Yes, sir.
What are their names?
Julie, Pixie, and Harley.
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 That's the newest.
He's a Maine Coon mix, and I carry him. He loves to slide down my legs. He likes to flip over upside down. He's a perfect arm kitty. And these little guys here are very good right now.
He was a foster that we adopted.
Yeah.
The Maine Coons are very, very pretty, aren't they? They're kind of long hair.
And then they're just
Gorgeous.
They're nothing but the gentlest of the large breeds of cats.
Okay. And what breed? This breed is.
This is a Siamese mix, and they have some tabby.
How do you know that?
By the coloring and the blue eyes.
Oh,
The ears, the face.
All kitties are born with blue eyes, but then they change.
Yeah.
These are not going to change. And then the tabby is from the stripe. So we'd have no idea what Mommy and Daddy were, because Mommy and Daddy didn't come in with them.
They couldn't find them.
What's the most unusual?
Phyllis Diller.
Phyllis Diller?
Phyllis Diller.
She was a silly kitty. And she had the hairdo like Phyllis Diller. That's where
She
she
looked
got
like
the
a
name.
Chinese crested at first because she had really short hair.
What's a Chinese crested?
It's a dog. It's a very small dog.
Okay.
That's it's not hairless, but it is very short hair with tufts
Wild.
of wild,
Yeah.
sporadic.
Are we talking about a
long
dog here
tufts
now
of-
or a cat?
It's a cat that
She
looked
was a
like a
cat
dog.
that looked like a dog. Yeah.
Okay.
She looked like a Chinese crested, so we called her Phyllis Diller.
Yeah. Just silky.
We've had snowshoes.
Just silky.
We've had a couple of rag dolls. People have surrendered
There you go.
purebred kitties. Yep.
There
with their
you go.
breeder papers to county shelters where they could have been put down.
I'm not drinking that. That's all right. Chug a lug there, young
Say
lady.
the lights are hot.
Oh, yeah. If somebody wanted to adopt these two, yeah.
They would call my house or go through the main
they have to
phone
wait- they
number.
have to wait a couple of weeks.
A couple of weeks, correct.
Okay. So
They're not even
And
on
they would
the
have to
streets.
be considered qualified, meaning they have to be over 21. That's a qualification. Cats cannot go outside in any way, shape, or form. They have to be kept inside.
Okay, sure.
If they have children, they have to be older.
Yeah, with a little one this little, we don't like them to have little children.
Understand. Well, all right. Somebody wants to contribute to the shelter one more time.
P.O. Box 68811 in Schaumburg, 60168. And that's how we get all of our funds, through generous donations, fundraisers that we hold. Everyone is volunteer, no one is paid, so everything to take care of.
You have a raffle in the fall, is that correct?
We have a raffle. We do different expos where we sell handmade blankets that all of us make,
Yeah.
toys, and we do everything to beg for money.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor.
Thank you.
Say bye-bye.
And thank you. Here,
She's busy
take
chewing.
take a bite out of me. Come on. There you go. Ooh, yeah, ooh.
Yeah, she's a little tomboy.
Yeah, okay. That'll do it for this edition of Speaking of Schaumburg. Join us again next month for another all-new episode. Until then, I'll see you around town.